omugenzi kati Yasini Kauma Uganda n'ensi yonna mulina okujjukira nti Yasini Kauma okutemulwa kwe kwalagirwa na Kyemalira yennyini Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ne banne awatali kutya wadde eddakiika n'emu. Nengera nti owokubiri President kwamaze okwanveiringa Saidi Wali yoyo yabuzibwawo, yoyo yawambibwa, yoyo gwe tutamanyi mayitire ku bimukwatako ogamba Kibalama John Bosco mwe abatali abato mu Uganda mu myaka gy'ensanvu wabula omusajja gwe bayita Bendicto Kiwanuka yali mulamuzi nga yefaananiriza nnyo n'oyo Kibalama kuba naye accountant oli Amini ye yabikola ono Museveni yabikoze. Museveni aba yawukana n'Amini tebawukanirako nnyonnyini ddala naye ate nabonooyeza emmotoka eyawamba Bendicto Kiwanuka Museveni bagimulabamu embaale akomererwe. Ebyo bigambo bya President Namba 3 President amaze okwanveiring oba okubikula Nabukenya Rita we bagenze awo we babikula ateeka okuba oyo nga ye Rita Nabukenya yatemulwa enagulu ku police headquarters kumpi n'akatale k'e Nakawa. Poliisi ng'erinawo kamera n'ekyusa n'egamba nti mu kutemula Rita Nabukenya tebalina masanyalaze. Bye twogerako twogera mu kibuga Kampala, tetwogera Busia, tetwogera Ivunamba, tetwogera Luuka. Poliisi tebalina masanyalaze awali kamera ng'aba poliisi batemula Rita Nabukenya era yabatuma teyali mulala yenna okujjako na Kyemalira yennyini Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhabulwa Museveni. Yagadde abato mubeere nga mukimanyi era kibeere ku record. Ate nga Rita yaleka abaana Rita Nabukenya. Namba 4 erinnya nga siriraba. Namba 4 webali kati okumpya ebifa Frank Senteza oyo mugenzi Frank Senteza yatemulwa ennaku z'omwezi nga 3 okitegeera November December yatemulwa ennaku z'omwezi nga 3 December ng'era okutemulwa kwe na Kyemalira yennyini yatuma akabonda akakulembera baloketi ne bajja bakola ettemu nga balemesa okuleeta Ashraf eyakubwa amasasi nga kati ali mu ggwanga lya Amerika mu kufuna obujjanjabi. Oyo Frank Senteza ne bamutomera ng'emmotoka eyamutomera yali mmotoka y'amagye agalina okuba aga Uganda. President yakomawo banaye President oyo akomawo baba ali kutambula nettimbeire noyo bakobe muluso noyo ngobi noyo musinguzi noyo arali ali kutambula ni mama His Excellency Mama Ngobi wena tusangaire Obini President yakomawo President alikwira mumuwakalu alikada bulungi akaluluka President alina Dr. Kizza Besigye alina Dr. Kizza Besigye alina mama. We are writing history in Uganda. I'm telling you, we will maneuver and liberate this country. I'll never forget this. We will liberate this country. One day, we will liberate this country. That is our mission. Kakalamu, we will liberate this country. And we shall overcome. We will liberate Uganda. Honorable Miriam Matembe. Deputy President Nambeshe John Baptist. You're most welcome. Lord Mwali, Lord Mayor Wali, Elias Lukwago. Herod Kaija, yetimu walakada President. Alajuka Kane. Ponzese masate nuwanika. President Jakomiewo.
That's enough.
Banange, without wasting any time, mwena mulaba obudde bwe bufaanana. Enkuba eyagala kutonya. Tetugenda kumala budde bwonna, but to start the program. We will be running this program alongside Honorable Namuga, but it will overall be taken by my boss, Honorable Joel Senyonyi. Mbawemu ku Senyonyi ndowooza kati abatwaleko nange nfune ku lwendo lw'amazzi. Siwe wao? People power!
Our power!
Our power!
People power!
NUP!
Everywhere!
Kati baboy nasina yogera luzungu lungi. Musooke mulengere mbanju wale ekizimbe kiri wali mukiraba.
Tukirengera.
Ekyo kyaffe.
Kale mukikubireko mu ngalo.
Kino kiri wano mukiraba.
Tukirengera.
Nakyo kyaffe.
Nga kyamanya mukikubireko mu ngalo.
Kiri ekiri wali mukiraba.
Kirengedde.
Ekyo nakyo kyaffe.
Katonda wange byonna byaffe.
Wano wetuyimiridde mulaba wano. Wano nawo waffe.
Katonda wange.
Nawo we mutudde wonna.
Wonna waffe.
Nawo wonna waffe.
Lwaki tetwakubireko mu ngalo?
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Banaye tufunye amaka. Omwana bw'akula afuna amaka. Tufunye amaka kyovudola bawaliwo abalina ennugu abafunye akasajja ku mutima kubanga bo bakyapangisa. Ffe tufunye amaka. Kino kiraga nti tuli beeteefuteefu okwasaganya ensonga y'obukulembeze. Kubanga obukulembeze butandikira waka. Mr. President and the rest of our leaders, we want to welcome everybody that has come. Once again, we want to welcome retired Kano Dr. Kiza Besigye, Enulu Eya Kano. We want to welcome Omulodi Wechibuga Kampala.
Omulodi Wali.
The Honorable Niria Matembe.
Mama.
We want to welcome our Deputy Presidents, Deputy Central, Deputy Western, Deputy Eastern. Kindly stand. We want to welcome, of course, our Secretary General is also in the house. The Deputy Secretary General of the FDC, Harold Kaija. We have taken note of our other leaders, but let me request all NUP members of Parliament to stand. NUP members of Parliament, you are welcome. Please stand and wave to the crowd.
Thank you, the honorable members, for gracing this function.
Now, we have also been joined by members of Parliament from other political parties. Kindly stand. Members of Parliament from other political parties, you're very welcome. Honorable Dr. Timothy Batua, Honorable Aga from Jinja. I saw Honorable Asinas Nyakatu somewhere.
Has been around.
You are all very welcome. Let me request LC5 chairpersons, please stand. LC5 chairpersons, want to take note of your presence. Thank you for coming.
You are very recognized.
From PG, from Butambala. Mayors, let me request mayors to also stand. You are very welcome. Let me request speakers at various levels. Speakers, please stand.
We want to thank you very much for gracing this function.
Councillors at various levels, LC5, LC3, and so on. Councillors, please stand.
All the councillors stand up for recognition. Thanks so much. Clap for yourselves.
So we are not going to delay too much because the weather is beginning to change. I'm going to invite the Secretary General. He's going to update us on a couple of things, how we get to be here. Some people have been asking, but hey, wait a minute. We unveiled a different plan with one building. Now there are like 5 buildings. What happened along the way? He's going to give us all of that information and why we got to that place.
All those questions are going to be answered.
To come.
All those questions are going to be answered by the Secretary General.
People power, our power, NUP, everywhere. In Kabong, NUP, in Barara, here, even here. People power. Mr. President, our distinguished guests, particularly Dr. Kiza Besigye, all the
deputy presidents who are here today, our members of parliament, honorable members of parliament, the members of the National Executive Committee, the mayors and speakers. Because of time, I will speak very briefly and translate what I'll be saying into Luganda, and then we invite another speaker. First of all, we are here to thank God today for the far He has brought us. The journey which started in Chadondo can be seen where it has reached today. As the Bible says, do not despise the day of small beginnings. And we are 100% sure that the God who has brought us this far is going to take us until we are fully in charge of the affairs of our country, so that our people get a better life. Secondly, I already told you in July last year, when we were unveiling this place, that first of all, it was a deliberate step. It was a deliberate step not to acquire land in Kololo, not to acquire land in Nakasero, even though we would have done it. We decided, under the guidance of our president, that we have been in the ghettos of Kamocha and we must look for land in another ghetto where the common people are. And that is why we decided to come here in Kavule, in Bwaise. So that is the symbolism of this place. And I'm glad that we have been able to transform this ghetto into this wonderful headquarters, which I believe is an example, not only in Uganda, but to the rest of Africa. Now, the other question, as Honorable Senyonyi said, people have been asking why we decided to build this and not that we had initially unveiled. Ladies and gentlemen, the initial plan which we unveiled on that day requires over 4 billion shillings to put into place, which is a lot of money which we do not have right now. But we decided that we should be able to use what we have to create something beautiful out of it. At the time when we unveiled this place, ladies and gentlemen, we only had 2 plots. One plot there and another one here. But like Honorable Senyonyi said, from last year, we have been able to acquire 4 more plots in this very place. That building there belongs to us. We acquired it where the office of the president is. We were able to acquire this building. And we were also able to expand on the outside. Even this very building where we are right now, when we unveiled last year, we did not have it. It was not ours. So we decided to also buy this building and used less than 10% of the money that we would have required to build the other one which we had showed to you. That is because we thought we should be frugal, but also have what we needed to get. So that is the explanation I thought I should give to you. The other point I want to make is to appreciate our president. As you all know, we have been using Kamocha as our headquarters for over 4 years, even under people power. And that place, we have been using it free of charge. We have not been paying for the land in Kamocha, which belongs to our president. But more to that, the president has allowed us to continue using that place for NUP, for people power. And we have decided that in Kamocha, we are going to establish the National Unity Platform School of Leadership. So that is where we shall take our trainings so that comrade leaders can be educated in leadership and other aspects. So all the other departments, finance and administration, mobilization, the election management committee, organization and party building, policy and research, legal, media and communications, training, the head office will be here, although the training will be taking place there, and then arts, culture and sports, all of those departments will be here. And now that we have unveiled this place, we shall be open full every day to serve you, to serve Ugandans. What I can say is, this is your place. You're all welcome to come and use it. In a special way, I want to appreciate some people that I've worked with over time, and those, of course, apart from the president, Chairman Nyanzi. He has been very instrumental in the work that has been going on here, giving ideas and everything else. Comrade Nubi and Lee seated over there. Comrade Nubian, we also have another plot of land behind the other office where we shall soon establish a studio so that the ghetto youth can come and sing revolutionary songs from that place. So you can see the office which has the biggest demand. So we should put it there very soon. And of course other leaders, I can't mention all of them. I want to appreciate the members of parliament. I also want to elaborate people power. I want to also state, I've been seeing propagandists trying to say, where did we get money to buy all this? These are resources strictly that are given to us that are allocated by parliament. That is why we did not even do a fundraising for this place. We have used only those funds to establish all this. You all remember that NRM gets 75.5% of those resources. I don't know what they use it for, but NUP gets only 12.9% of those resources, and we've been getting it for only about 2 years. And this is what we've been able to use that money. Of course, in addition to the many things we do, our guests, as you know, the party has been having a heavy load, especially having to support families of our victims of torture, of extrajudicial killings, etc., of helping political prisoners. Resources we get. I want to recognize you, Election Management Committee. Thank you for being very smart on this day. Those are members of the Election Management Committee, Mr. President, and our distinguished guests. Ekisooka twebaza nnyo Katonda okutuyamba olwaleero ne tutuuka ku milestone eno. Nga bwe mbagambye twanveiringa kino ekifo omwaka oguwedde mu mwezi ogw'omusanvu, naye kirungi nnyo okulaba nti olunaku lwaleero tugulawo office. Era bwe twagulawo wano twalina plots 2 zokka mu kifo kino. Twagenda mu maaso ne tufuna plots endala 4. Era tetwafuna plots ezitaliko kintu, wabula twagula n'ebizimbe nga kino kyennyini kye tulimu. Kyali kizimbe kya muntu, ekirala ennyumba gye mulaba naye twakigula ne tugula n'eno, ne tugula n'eyo ennyumba eri awo gye mulaba. Era omwo tugenda kubeeramu ne offices ez'enjawulo, naye tugenda kubeera ne projects ez'enjawulo omuli bannamateeka baffe n'ebirala bwe bityo. Nga bwe twabagamba, bwe twali tulonkinga wano tugula wano ekifo, bwe twakisooka kilonkinga twabategeeza nti oboolyawo twalifunye ettaka ekololo enakasero oba awalala, naye nga tulungamizibwa pulezidenti waffe twasalawo nti tusigale mu ghetto. Netugamba tuve Kamoocha naye tusigale mu ghetto. Netugamba tetugenda genda nakasero oba awalala, katugende ewali abantu baffe. Mwatu kwe kulaba nga twajja wano mu ghetto e Bwayiise oba e Kavule. Ensonga endala, waliwo abadde beebuuza kiri ekifaananyi kye twabateerako ekyali kimu, lwaki tetwazimba ekyo ne tusalawo okubeera n'ebizimbe bino ebyenjawulo. Ekyo ekizimbe ba engineer bwe batubaliramu ssente zeetaagisa zaali mu 4,000. Ne tugamba nti mu kifo ky'okuzimba ekizimbe kimu ku 4,000 kati ku ssaawa zino nga tetulina ssente nnyingi, ne tusalawo waakiri tugule ebizimbe bino byonna tubirenovating, tubiredesigning. Twafuna aba engineers abakabi, era simanyi chief engineer waffe bawaali Mwami Abudu Nyombi n'abalala ne baturedesigning era bino ebizimbe abakulu bamaze obirambula, naye nammwe mukirizibwa nga tumaze wano ogenda ne mubirambula ne mulaba bwe biri ebyakabi ennyo. So sente ze twakozesa wano teziwera na butundutundu 10 ku buli 100 kwezo ze twali badde tukozesa okuzimba kiri ekizimbe. Naye era nga bwe tugenda mu maaso n'okula n'ekizimbe ekyakabi ekyo ekisingira ddala ku bino bye tulina wano, oboolyawo tugenda kiteekako, naye tulina n'enteekateeka ez'okugula ettaka ne tuzimba offices mu bitundu by'enjawulo eby'eggwanga. Njagala n'okwebaza abantu baffe ab'enjawulo abavuddeyo ne batuwa ettaka mu bitundu eby'enjawulo. Mr. President, nga bw'omanyi abantu ab'enjawulo baze nga batuwa ettaka e Kayunga n'awalala, era neyo tugenda kuzimba offices zaffe eza NUP. Ekisemberayo ddala nti njagala nnyo mwena abali wano mwebaze President kubanga yatuwe ettaka lye ery'Ekamocha tubadde tulikozeseza bwerere ebbanga lino lyonna. Era teyakomyawo, yagambye n'okugamba nti ne kati ekyo ekifo tukyakirina tusobola okukozesa byonna okubeera nga tukikozesa, era tukyagenda mu maaso awo tuteekewo ettendekero by'obukulembeze Ekamocha. Era mwe bageto yuta abali wano kati mufunye chance tugenda kubeera n'essomero ery'obukulembeze Ekamocha we tubadde tukolera emirimu gyaffe. Era mujja kufuna ne certificate munange bw'omala okutendekebwa mu ssomero lya NUP ery'obukulembeze, tugenda kuwa certificate of imbe. So ekisemberayo ddala nebaziza mukulu chairman Nyanzi Nubianli n'abakulembeze abalala Honorable Senyonyi n'abalala abadde batuyambayoko nnyo buli lunaku okulaba nga kino ekifo kifaanana bwe kiti. Mpoza ensonga esemberayo ddala omukulu Nubianli ali mu nteekateeka ez'okubateerako mwe Bageto Youth studio wali emabega tulinawo ettaka eddala mubeere nga musobola okujja wano mu recording ennyimba ez'akabi n'ebirala bwe bityo. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. People power, our power.
Thank you, the Secretary General. Clap for him. Mumukubire engalo. Much our Secretary General. We are going to have the Honorable John Baptist Nambeshe, our Deputy President. Honorable John Baptist Nambeshe is going to take us through the profiles of all our deceased and missing persons. You've been seeing the President was moving around the other side. He's going to give you all that profile for you to know what is happening behind the scenes. John Honorable Patrick Nambeshe.
Mr. President, my fellow Deputy Presidents, the honorable leaders of political formation is present, particularly Dr. Kano Kiza Besigye and the rest, members of Parliament present, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to make a citation. A citation I'm making is peculiar because it is a praiseworthy act in honor of our distinguished departed comrades. I greet you and welcome you all to this unprecedented event. If you look at the wall behind you or besides you, you will see drawn thereon faces of a few of the many martyrs and victims that Mr. Museveni's regime has made of the comrades with whom we started this journey. At the extreme end, just behind there, is a painting of the late Yasin Kauma. He was shot dead towards 9 p.m. on 13th October 2018 as he sat inside President Chagulanyi's vehicle that had parked outside Pacific Hotel in Arua. The shooter was a member of Mr. Museveni's military guards, commonly known as SFC. Kauma had spent that fateful day driving President Chagulanyi as he mobilized support for Honorable Kassiano Wadiri, who was contesting then in the parliamentary by-election of Arua municipality. At the time of his shooting, Kauma was seated in the exact spot where the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu had been sitting just moments earlier as he drove him through the town. It is therefore clear that whoever took Kauma's life, and in fact intended the bullet for the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. Yasin Kauma was not just a driver. He was a father of 11 young children and the proprietor of a charitable organization that identified, nurtured, and looked after talented but vulnerable children. His remains lie buried in Guama in PG district. Next to the late Kauma, just behind there, is a painting of Comrade Kibalama Bosco, John Bosco. Kibalama John Bosco was the only child of his mother. He was abducted on 3rd June 2019 as he returned home to his family. The car in which he had been traveling was found abandoned with his phones and identity cards by the roadside towards Gayaza town. To date, we have not seen or heard from him. People power, our power. Now cool down and relax as I conclude the citation. The closest we have come to knowing what really happened to Kibalama was 7 months ago when the regime's Prime Minister, the Honorable Robin Nabanja, took responsibility for his abduction. She claimed that Kibalama was a hardcore criminal who had been murdering policemen. Until his abduction, Kibalama was mobilizing support for his intended bid to represent the people of Busiro North in Parliament, a constituency represented at the time by the Honorable Dennis Sozi Kalabuzi, who was also the junior minister for Ruero Triangle. Kibalama is also part of a long list of comrades who were abducted and have remained missing for weeks, months, and years. Some of these include 1. Semudu Michael. Semudu Michael was abducted from Kasubi on 28th of November 2020. 2. Damurila John. Damurila John was abducted from Kiseka Market on 21st December 2020. 3. Mbabas Moses, who was abducted from Kiseka Market on 26th November 2020. 4. Narumonso Vincent, abducted from Bugorobi on 1st December 2020. 5. Lukwago Martin, abducted from Bugorobi on 3rd November 2020. 6. Kinata Mohammed, abducted from Mukono on 23rd December 2020. 7. Sempija Yuda, abducted also from Mukono on 19th December 2020. 8. Musisi Mbowa, abducted from Kisenyi, Kampala on 18th December 2020. 9. Kiria Peter. Kiria Peter was abducted from Nasana on 1st December 2020. 10. Wangolo Shafik. Wangolo Shafik was abducted from Nasana on 3rd December 2020. 11. Zimula Dennis, abducted from Nasana on 25th November 2020. 12. Luemba Mustafa, abducted from Nasana on 19th November 2020. 13. Mubiru Hassan, abducted from Kawala on 20th November 2020. 14. Sesazi Isma, abducted from Makindye on 19th November 2020. 15. Kisembo Godfrey. Kisembo was abducted from Mubende town on 12th February 2021. George Kasumba, abducted from Chotra on 19th January 2021. And Baguma Joseph, abducted from Chevando in December 2020. Now next to Kibalama behind there is Comrade Rita Nabukenya. Comrade Rita Nabukenya on the morning of 24th February 2020 was pursued and ran over by a police patrol truck in Nakawa as she traveled on a motorcycle. She was rushing to attend a consultation meeting organized by President Kyagulanyi at Popopo Memorial Center in Rubaga. Eyewitnesses stated that once the police officers realized Rita still alive, they reversed the truck and ran over her again until they were sure she was dead before speeding away from the scene. While this incident happened right under the watch of police CCTV cameras, the police spokesperson claimed that the particular camera was faulty that day, so they could not retrieve any footage to identify the soldiers responsible for Rita's death. Rita left behind 2 daughters, the oldest of whom is now about 10 years of age. Until her death, she was a presenter on Olujiliro TV, one of the popular online media outlets, a platform she was using to mobilize fellow women and oppressed youth to get national IDs in preparation for the 2021 presidential election. We laid her to rest in Chiwoga district on 25th February 2020. Francis Chibalama Senteza, fondly known as Frank, is the face that is painted at the extreme right, just behind there on the wall. Frank was about 26 years of age when a military police patrol truck, registration number H4DF2382, deliberately ran over him at Busega roundabout, and the occupants on the military truck, police truck, just continued as if nothing had happened. Frank, a bodyguard to our president, was knocked dead on 27th of December 2020 as he tried to clear the way for the president's campaign team that was rushing journalist Ashraf Kasirye to hospital. Ashraf Kasirye had been shot in the head while recovering President Kyagulanyi as he traveled from Masaka for a campaign meeting. Like many other youths disgruntled with how our country is being run, Frank had just left his job he was doing as a carpenter in Waise and committed his full time to the struggle. We buried him at Kiroza village in Masaka. The 4 comrades on that wall. Like many other disgruntled, that one I was done. The 4 comrades on that wall represent thousands of others who have in one way or another faced the wrath of Mr. Museveni's regime for identifying with President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, who is challenging his grip on power. Journalist Ashraf Kasiria and the producer Dan Magic are living examples of the many failed attempts at President Kyagulanyi's life, as both have in the past been shot with projectiles aimed at them. The plight of the victims I have mentioned here, in addition to those whose names we have not mentioned for lack of time, highlights the many risks that anybody who dares to challenge Mr. Museveni must be ready for. Mr. Museveni might consider Yasin, might consider Rita, Frank, Dani Cheyune, Hakim Sekamwa, and Charles Mutiable, and many other departed comrades as mere statistics in his long and winding history of political matters. But they formed an integral part of our struggle for change, and we get many challenges along the way, but the memory of these comrades keeps us going. They did not die in vain. A luta continua. I would like you to substitute the clapping with the raising up so that we observe a moment of silence for these departed comrades. I pray. And may their souls rest in eternal peace.
Your Excellency, I already have a feel for the Honorable Jolly Mugisha, who is going to speak after Honorable Nambeshe. For such a sad moment, it's not easy to speak to such a congregation, but I pray that you get the courage to speak to the people. Your Excellency, I take this moment and honor to invite Honorable Jolly Mugisha, our Deputy President for the Western Region, to speak to you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the First Lady, our invited guests, our distinguished guests, members of Parliament, all the leaders and the Nook family, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to bring in a very happy moment because, as you very well know, in life we have sunshine, then the next day there is rain, and that's how life is all about. Your Excellency, dear guests, at this juncture, allow me to introduce to you our guest speaker this afternoon. Your Excellency, our guest speaker is a dedicated activist. He is a symbol of perseverance in our struggle. against Mr. Museveni's dictatorship and oppression. He's vocal, he's fearless, and he's a very, very good advocate for the rule of law, democracy, human rights, and good governance in Uganda. The man in whose deviant steps we are all walking. The man who has for the most part of his life sacrificed his life, his wealth, his dignity, his health, and comfort to the service of our nation. The man has been arrested very, very many times and has been subjected to all manner of torture and humiliation. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, allow me to invite the epitome of the political struggle in Uganda, a dedicated nationalist, none other than the retired Dr. Kano Chiza Besigye. Welcome him with a very loud shout. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome, Kano Dr. Chiza Besigye.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, Madam the First Lady, the Right Honorable, the Leader of Opposition in Parliament, Your Worship, the Lord Mayor of the capital city of Kampala, the Honorable Members of Parliament who are here, the leadership of the National Unity Platform, all distinguished invited guests who are here, senior citizen, the Honorable Miriam Matembe, the Honorable John Ken Luchams the man, the Honorable Kibirige Mayanja, former President